So when you open Daily Budget for the first time, the first thing you're going to want to do is create a new profile. To create a new profile, you click on the profile, the create new profile button, and you enter the profile name. You're going to also want to enter a starting balance because, well, the starting balance basically refers to how much money you're going to be starting with for that particular profile. Then you can enter a description for the profile. You can also long press on the profile name. You create a profile called test, and you can edit or delete that profile. And click on the profile to select it. Now after you've selected the profile, you don't now want to add some expenses to the profile. You can also add income. Income refers to money that will be added to your current profile balance. And if you click left or right on the screen, and you can go scroll across your different expenses. Here you have household, health, transportation, loans, personal and leisure. As I said, expenses are deducted, income and money that will be added. So we're going to go ahead and add some incomes and expenses to that profile. I'll pause the video while I add that. So I went ahead and I added some expenses to that, some expenses values and income values to our account balance. You can set the range at which these incomes and expenses will be applied just by clicking on this button right here. You can set it to monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and quarterly. The same applies for all of these different expenses. So basically, if I put here for my pay after tax, if I get paid at $450 and a bi-weekly basis, that's every 2 weeks, then it's basically saying every 2 weeks $450 will be added to my current balance. This will all happen for you in the background, and just at the rate at which you set that expense or that income. Same applies for all your different expenses and incomes that you can set. Now this button up here refers to I like to call it the preview balance button, because it allows you to see what your balance would be at a certain date. Like for example, suppose you want to see what your current balance would be 3 months from now. Currently it's $1,000. We have our different expenses here defined. I'm just gonna change up some values, and we want to see how much it will be at a certain date in the future. We click on the button and we can set the date, say 2 months from now. It's say April 15th. And if you click set, the program will estimate, given all the expenses and income, how much you will have at that certain date. You can change the date to another time to see 1 month from today. The current date is February 13th, by the way. And that's how much money we will have 1 month from today. That's as if our expenses remain the same, of course. Then we can go ahead and save those expenses. There you go, expenses updated. Let's go back to the expenses form one more time. I want to point out something. We started at $1,000 and you realize it never changed from anything. That's because, as I said, these values are applied 2 weeks from today. Like for example, the 450 will be applied on a bi-weekly basis, mean every 2 weeks, which means 2 weeks from today, $450 will be added. 1 month from today, $20 will be added. 340, this is a household expense, 340 will be deducted on a monthly basis. So that's why the current balance didn't change. It will change 2 weeks or 1 week, however you have it set from today. Also, suppose you want to set the date when these expenses are initiated. You can long press on the button and it will give you the date to set the date when this expense is initiated. For example, suppose you get paid on the first of the month and on the mid-month. So as on a bi-weekly basis, starting on the first of the month, you can change by holding this down to and set it to March 1st. And this income will be applied on March 1st on a bi-weekly basis, or bi-weekly rate, starting from March 1st. And you can do the same for all the different incomes and all the different expenses. Just hold down and change the date. So you can go ahead and save that. Now this form is where we add daily expenses and incomes. Daily incomes and expenses more refers to incomes and expenses that happen, randomly, things that are not planned, uh, and they happen daily. Like for example, suppose a vase was broken in your house and you had to go and buy that. Then you're gonna kind of add that. Of course, that's not something that you're gonna be planning for. So it's gonna be something that hit you randomly or unexpectedly. So you're gonna have to add that. Set of vase costs $20, and you can put a description. Bought a new vase. And as soon as I hit OK or save that, the money will immediately be deducted from my current balance. There you go. You can also edit and delete this new transaction just by long pressing on it. I'm going ahead and I'm going to add some more daily transaction. So I went ahead and I added some more transaction that occur. I added a description for each one of them. If you realize that now our current balance is now changed, it was once $1,000 and now 833, and it's now colored in red. That's because if your current balance ever do falls below how much you started at, then it's gonna change to red, just to to highlight that you're below what your starting balance is. And if it goes back up, then it will change back to green. Here in the menu section, you can have different views. You can view by ascending order, you can view only the incomes, or you can view only the expenses, or you can view all at once. This button now is what I call the log activity. Basically checks everything that you do under that profile. Every single thing that you do, you can check it, because to see if there was any mistake, something that you might have forgotten and you want to know where your money went, or where you can always refer back to this activity. If it gets too long, you can always clear it. Sorry, I closed the app by mistake. Another way you can view your daily expenses through this button, it basically allows you to do what your expenses will be at a certain date. Not sorry, it allows you to view all of your expenses at a certain date. So if you want to see what your expenses are at February 13th, you can see them on to earlier date or at a later date. Just basically filter your expenses at a certain date. And this button here is a graph, and I'll be going over what the graph is in my next tutorial.